Welcome to the Urban Cowgirl Show.
Well, here we are doing pairs driving again today. We have been doing pairs driving with the help of a jockey stick that we connected to the collars on the front of the two horses, and with the help of a butt rope that we wrapped around the butts of the two horses to keep them together, keep them parallel. And then every chance we have, especially on good weather days like today, we come out here, we hitch them up, we do driveline control. We try to get them to not only go in parallel, but to go at the proper speeds to keep up with each other when they're going, for example, on curves. And this is something that they will learn how to do. We need to show them right now what we want, and with enough repetition as a pairs driving and pairs pulling team, they will learn that it's their job to stay together. It's their job going on a curve for the outside horse to walk a little slower or faster, depending upon what you're trying to do. But for now, it's our job as trainers to tell them what we want and give them release of pressure, which is their reward for the right answer. Now, we feel that we're going to put these aside, but we may go back to them. We're going to start using the training pole. This is a harness training pole, which we built months ago, but we decided now we needed more practice of this sort before we tried the harness training pole. And you'll see why in a moment. We're only doing lead line work today. We're not doing drive line work because we don't want those drive lines to be hanging there in case a horse spooks and runs away. What happens when that happens? The drive lines tend to get wrapped around their legs. And while my horses have had quite a bit of desensitization for ropes and lines being on their legs, it's another thing for them to be right-brained, running around and having those drive lines flopping around and possibly wrapping around their legs, especially the back legs. So for today, a tiny baby step is going to be, and we've got Kyle here and me here to help with the horses, and we've got an extra camera operator today because we wanted this to be a 5-man team. And we're going to try to do this for the next few sessions because this is a very big step. Getting this harness training pole hooked to the horses and having them drive together when they're hooked in the front by this piece of PVC, which is attached to the pole. Here's the harness pole. And in the back by that piece of PVC, which will eventually be attached to single trees so that we can have them pull with the help of single trees. Now we've got some concerns around the property today. One of my border horses is running around for whatever reason. My horses are going to maybe notice that. You know, this is an urban rural setting. We really have to be aware that there are going to be unusual sounds for a farming horse. Okay, so I'm putting these aside. Angela's going to walk Eve up to this corner. Katie's going to walk Sadie, Eve's daughter, up to this corner. Then we'll see if we can get their hips over so that they're at least standing parallel. Now, if one of the horses touches one of these pieces of PVC, needless to say, it'll make a sound, and that could spook a horse too. So that's why we have a multi-man team today. We need to be ready for any kind of a spook, and we need to do our best to maintain control and give the horses confidence that they are not in danger. Okay, let's walk up to the front of the pole. Good? Good. Oh, a little bit of concern there. Okay. Now, I'm going to
feel the stick.
Take this jockey stick just as an arm extension. Okay, Angela's going to move Eve over. Good, good. Just standing there as if they were going to be connected is a big accomplishment today. Let's see if we can go over, 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 over. Whoa.
Ooh.
She's stepping forward. We don't want that. Can you back her up a little bit?
Back.
Back. Whoa, good. Over, over, over. I'm touching her hip. Over, over,
Easy.
over. Whoa,
Ooh.
not forward. Now Sadie's the youngster. Her nostrils are opening and closing. We're hearing her breathe hard. She's not quite as confident as her mom Eve. We hope that Eve will give her confidence eventually. And Sadie isn't quite parallel to the harness pole, but she's close to it. So ever so slight, the right answer today is what we're going to accept. Okay, now I'm going to put this jockey stick down, and you can see prior shows to know how we used it and what its purpose is. Now, Kyle is in the back and I'm in the front. I'm going to just lift this up. If the horses don't spook by it, I'm going to lift it up as if I were going to connect it to the front of their collars. It's all right. It's all right. And then we'll see if they spook by it. I'm going to put it down. We're going to hope that we have their confidence. It's all right, girls. It's all right. It's all right. It's making a little noise. It's all right.
Girl.
Good girl. It's all right. Ah, she's concerned. All right, I'm going to put it down. We're going to walk around in a circle. She's blowing through her nostrils. She's concerned. We're going to want to not remove the pressure when there's a wrong answer. But if she's concerned, we want to try to help her gain confidence that she need not be concerned.
Come on.
She doesn't even want to go forward, but she's listening to Katie. Good. Good girl.
Oh.
Whoa.
Good girl.
Good girl. Let's see if I can lift it up again.
Easy back.
This could take years, this kind of training, but that's all right. We want to be patient. We want to do this right. Okay, now I'm going to lift it up again. It's all right. It's all right, girls. Good. She's investigating. That's real good. Good. You see how she's backing off a little bit? Good. Ever so slightly lifted off the ground. Ever so slightly. It's all right. There you go. Okay, that's good enough. There you go. There you go. We put it back down when they were standing still, when Sadie wasn't showing a lot of concern. Eve was really good, right, Angela? Yeah, no nostrils. She's showing all the signs of relaxation. Her head is down and her eyes are closed. Her back right leg is cocked. Beautiful signs of relaxation. Sadie is not. And Sadie's the youngster. Sadie's the one we're going to have to be really patient with. And we hope that she'll gain that confidence from her mom Eve. And we hope eventually, if we are mutually confident that we are going to be able to sensitize our horses to these tools. Sensitize means they're not going to be afraid, and they're going to be used to get the horses to do what we want them to do, which is step forward, step G, step ha, back up, whatever it takes with a driveline control. And eventually, we have the check reins. We have drive lines that also have check reins, and I've done shows about this in the past. We want to use the training harness pole with these two horses with drive lines that have check reins, and then we want to drive them around here, and then we want to pull with them around here. That's what we need to get done, one small step at a time, to make this pair of Morgan horses farming horses here at Shadrack Farms. And that's all for today. Today, in this session, we're going to do very little, an even tiny baby step, because it's very, very windy. The first windy day of this fall-winter season. So the horses are, needless to say, yeah, leave her there, kind of spooky. We don't even have drive lines on Sadie because we don't want to deal with drive line control today. Sadie doesn't know enough. Sadie is Eve's daughter. Sadie is young. Sadie doesn't like the sound of stepping on or hearing somebody step on the training harness pole. So we've got to get her desensitized to that sound, and to do so, we're going to allow the sound to happen, but we're doing the best we can to control. Slide your hand down and then zigzag, back, use your cue. Good, okay, whoa. Be real specific in your request. That was Eve that we were talking about. I'm showing you what we're doing today just to get one step closer to hooking up this training harness pole.
Pick your feet up.
Good, Sadie. Good.
Good girl.
Very nice.
Good girl.
Now Eve's butt isn't over. That's okay. My objective today is to show you some of these tools that we're using. Now on Sadie's head is a Monty Roberts dually halter, and I've used it many, many times. If we need to, we'll put the lead line here on this double-stranded nylon across her nose, which gives us more control. But so far she's been okay with just the lead line control. Notice that we have her rigged up in her collar, her saddle, and her breechin'. But because we don't have the drive lines on, the collar, if she puts her head down, keeps falling forward. So we solved that problem by just clipping a chain on both sides of the collar to the rings of the saddle. So it's almost as if we have drive lines. Notice that on Eve, the drive lines serve the purpose of keeping the collar from slipping forward if Eve happens to put her head down, because they connect to the bit, through the ring of the collar, through the ring of the saddle, and back to the drive line holder. Now Sadie is looking okay. Her body language is looking okay, but she's young, inexperienced. So we're going to watch very closely if she starts looking spooked, and we have an extra hand here, an extra team member here to help us if that happens. As a matter of fact, Everett, if you could come forward, you can give me, these are our arm extensions. Go to the back. It's all right. Go to the back of the training harness pole. We're trying to get Sadie, especially, Evie doesn't seem to mind it, desensitized to not only the sound of the training harness pole, but the sight of it coming up. So I'm going to put these arm extensions down close. I'll lift up this side, and if it goes well, Everett will lift up the back ever so slightly. It's all right. It's all right. Good. Good girl. Good girl. Good. Now we have quick releases here. And when we're feeling it's appropriate, we'll connect to the collar. But Sadie is worried. You see how she's backing off a little bit. She is blinking her eyes. I'm looking for those body language side of stress. Okay, she's investigating. I'm glad. I want her to investigate. Eve is not worried at all. Can you lift it slightly? It's all right, Sadie, I'm talking to her. Lift it, lift it. All right, he's making noise with the chain, so that got her concerned. It's all right, lift it. Okay, good. Good. She has to see that this thing can come up and not be a monster. That's all right. Okay, let's put it down. Now she walked away. We're not going to allow that. We're not going to call that our moment of resolution. Katie, can you walk around again and bring her closer? You see, Eve did not walk away. She's not concerned. Yeah, don't hold tight. If she roots forward, Evie rooted forward a little bit with her bit, that's because we were holding a little bit too tight. Oh. Good. Good, Sadie. Give her a reward. It's all right.
Easy.
I'm going to pick it up.
Good girl.
This time pick it up just by holding the white PVC, Everett, and that way the chain won't make a noise. We can deal with noise later. Good. Right now we're dealing with sight. She stepped back at 2 steps, but then she stopped. You see the objective? This is going to be the pole that we train them for, without connecting anything to the back yet, for pairs driving. Good. Now I like it. Now I like that she's standing. She's square. Oh, her back leg is cocked. Sadie's back leg is cocked. Eve is doing just fine. Her neck is down. Her eyes are closed. She is not concerned one bit. Now, I'll tell you what. Make a little sound with the chain. A little sound. It's all right.
Good girl.
Yeah, she hears it behind her, so she says, oh, I better investigate this thing. Okay, that's enough. Now she's moving. She's moving. Okay, let's put it down.
It's okay.
Quite frankly, I was hoping she wouldn't move. So now we're going to put her back in position, pick it up again, and that'll be our moment of resolution if we get her to stand square, not move, and we pick it up and put it down.
Oh. Back.
Good. You see, the objective is to get them both parallel, close enough so that we can hook up the front of this training harness pole to these clasps, these carabiners on their collars. And then the back is going to be hooked to the tug straps. It's a long time in the future, because we're doing this one very small step at a time. Okay, now let's lift them together this time, Everett. 1, 2, and 3. Good. Good. Checking it out. Soon she won't check it out. She won't be afraid.
It's okay.
1 step forward. Let's see if she stops. Eve is checking it out, kind of biting at it. Just says, what is this black thing? It's all right, Sadie. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Okay, down, Everett. Made a little bit of noise because it's got chains on it and clasps. Okay, we want to get Sadie, my youngster, Eve's daughter, desensitized to a pole of this sort. But I read an article in my fall Small Farmers Journal 2 days ago that described a situation that I knew that I was concerned about it, but now I'm positive I must be very concerned about it. A pair of horses that the driver thought were trained to go in pairs with a harness pole between them. They were pulling a stone boat on snow, which is essentially a sled, with a harness pole. And one of the horses stepped over the harness pole, got completely spooked, and the pair of them took off, threw him from his vehicle. I think he had some sort of vehicle. I'm not sure. I didn't see any pictures, but his wife or girlfriend was there too, and she tried to stop them. They ran over her. They went through a fence, which I have to chuckle here because we had one of our horses go through a fence once. What happens is if they do spook and they become right-brained and they've got something following them, they feel like they are being chased by a predator, and it can just snowball something terrible. Now, I know that Sadie is sensitive to having something between her legs, and if she happens to step over our training harness pole, it's a black ABS, she could very well cause a wreck, even though she'd be in pairs with Eve, who's less likely to cause a wreck. They do play off each other. Now, here are tug straps and drive lines. But notice we only have a lead line on her today. We're taking tiny baby steps. And those words are used in the article that I read in the Small Farmers Journal. We're just going to see how Sadie behaves when she is touched with this simulated training harness pole. And then, probably because it's raining, unless the sun comes out, we won't do any more today. But for now, I wanted to bring the tug straps and the drive lines, because eventually that's where we need to go. We need to be able to do all of this with, especially with drive lines at first, and then adding the tugs to maybe pulling an object. I know from my natural horsemanship training that desensitization is extremely important, and then sensitization. So desensitization is just really sacking out. Investigation, important. So I'm letting her smell it, even though it's white. I don't happen to have a black such pole. But this is about, it's a little bit less radius than the black one. But it's easy to handle. Letting her check it out. Gonna let her watch it from her peripheral vision. Good. I'm gonna walk around. It's all right. What will she say when she sees this thing go behind her? So far, nothing. She looked like she was about to step forward. Now I'm going to start touching her legs. First the front, but if they step over, it's usually with the back. It's all right. It's all right. And I'm on the outside now, so she might step toward the training harness pole and touch it with the outside of her leg. And if we've desensitized her to that kind of feeling, just bring her back to the position. We allow them to move if they get concerned. That's important. It's their nature to want to move. But with mutual confidence, we hope to suppress that, their nature to want to flee. It's all right.
Easy. Easy, easy.
All right.
Easy.
Okay, that was too big of a step. And that's why I'm doing this. Okay, I'm going to bring it back in front. You see, you wouldn't want that to happen if you were pulling an object, especially in pairs.
Good girl. So
I'm not even sure what spooked her. Does anybody know?
I don't know. I think it touched her.
Just touched her in a certain place. And I'll be studying this video once I upload it too, to try to figure out what was the spook. Now she's much more standoffish. Watch her ears. Look how she's stepping back away. That's her nature. I'm going to walk around again. Walk around. It's all right.
Easy. Good girl. It's okay.
See, it's behind her now, so she doesn't trust. She doesn't have confidence. You go back in position, and I'm going to keep walking because I'm not going to remove the pressure when she's giving me the wrong answer. I'm going to remove the pressure only if she's standing still. It's all right, unless it's a matter of safety, and then that's another issue. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Investigate. This is a monster that's up high now. It's a different monster that's down low. Investigate. Good. Now when I watch shows where there are wagons, stagecoaches, farming horses, I see that the training harness pole is usually about, let me see if I can show you, above the knee of the horse. The front and the back knee. Because if it's any lower than that, you have a much more likelihood of the horse accidentally stepping over it. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Now I touched her on the shoulder and she jolted. Okay, I told you we're doing this one tiny baby step at a time, and I'm going to predict right now, you agree, that we're not going any farther than lead line control. Next time we may have our Monty Roberts dually halter on, which gives control, a little more control over the nose than a flat nylon halter. It can be a flat nylon halter, but it also has two nylon ropes that if you connect to them, you've got almost a stud chain effect or rope halter effect. We don't like to use rope halters when we're doing harness work because look at the harness. It's got so many protrusions, and the rope halters tend to be loose in places. And if a horse goes back to do an itch or deal with a fly, we've had it happen that the rope halter gets hooked to the protrusions on the harness, and that's why we want to use the flat nylon halter. It's all right. I'm going to try to show you the protrusion here that we had trouble with in the past with Sadie by using this pointer. Will she let me go that close? It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Right there, right where the right angle PVC connector is, that piece right there, close to her head. She leaned back to bite at a fly or do an itch, and her rope halter got caught to it. And that was our heads up to always use flat halters. And that's why the Monty Roberts is really perfect for this application, because it's a flat halter, but it also gives you the rope control on the nose. Okay, I'm going to touch her again. Be careful not. It's all right. Oh, we've got a distraction here on the road. We'll let her look at it. She's worried about distractions too. She doesn't know what's happening out there. It's all right. It's all right. I'm going to touch her. It's all right. It's all right. Okay. Boy, is she iffy about all of this. And boy, do we have to do a lot of this before we even try to hitch her and her mom to the training harness pole. Ultimately, and I'm not going to do it today, but I'm going to show you what I want to do. Not only do I want to touch her on the back legs on the outside, but I want to take this thing and put it between her legs on inside, just in case she happens to step over. If she realizes that, okay, if I feel that harness pole, it's okay, I'll just wait, I'll have confidence, somebody will remove it, we'll unhitch what we have to unhitch or haul her. We just have to see what the instant presents us. It's all right. But see, I'm going to have to be able to get to the back, and I'm going to be able to very carefully fish this simulated pole between her legs and very gently touch her legs, especially around the knee. Oh, look at her. She doesn't trust me back here. But at least she's not jumping away. At least she's not jumping away. So now she moved. So I was going to walk around to the front and then find my moment of resolution. But now, because she moved, I'm going to walk around again. I always try to stop on a good note. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. I'm talking to her, giving her confidence. This will have to go between her legs someday before we even think about hitching to the training harness pole. Let's see if I can walk around here. Good. And Katie's just kind of jiggling the lead line to keep her attention. She's making nice on her neck. And I'm going to choose this as my moment of resolution.
See more at www.urbancowgirlchannel.com.